everybody! So today I'm going to be teaching you how to play ITZY's WANNABE, primarily based off the cover that I did, which will be in the description below and hopefully in the cards if I don't forget. I always do, but like it might be there, you know, so it'll be somewhere up here. And this is a little bit of a present of sorts because we reached 1K on the WANNABE cover, which is really exciting, but also we reached 11,000 subscribers on this channel, which is so exciting. Oh my gosh! So I just wanted to say a big thank you from the bottom of my heart for continuing to support this channel, for supporting my covers and my occasional tutorials. I really appreciate that you guys are still here and still listening, and honestly, if it weren't for you guys, I probably still wouldn't be doing this, so thank you guys so much, and I love you guys a whole ton. Also, don't mind the whole thing that's going on in my face. I tried recreating a pink Chords makeup look that she did for their new comeback, and I have limited resources, so I tried my best with the resources that I had. I don't know if it really went well, but that's why there are a bunch of gemstones on my face. I did a TikTok on it, but it's not the best. It was my first TikTok, so yeah. If you do want to follow me on TikTok, it's at 8cake, so there's that. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because I had a feeling the gemstones are kind of distracting, but like, don't think about them, you know? They're not even here, you know? They're not here. They're here, but they're not here. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So without further ado, let's just get started with the tutorial. So the first thing you're going to want to know are the chords, which are fairly easy. You're going to have your strings in standard tuning, so your strings should be tuned G, C, E, A. And so for this song, we're going to start off with the chords in the intro. So you're first going to want to start off by knowing F sharp minor, which is second finger on the second fret of the G string, first finger on the first fret of the C string, third finger on the second fret of the E string, and then open on the A string, so it should sound like this. And then after that, you're going to play D, which is first finger on the second fret of the G string, second finger on the second fret of the C string, and then third finger on the second fret of the E string, and then open on the A string, so it should sound like this. And then right after that, you're going to play B minor, which is barring your first finger all across the second fret of the ukulele, and then having your third finger on the fourth fret of the G string. So it should sound like this all together. So you just really need to know those three chords in order to play the intro, and then right after the intro, you're going to play the verse, and it's pretty easy because all you need to do is just play F sharp minor. And that's pretty much the only chord that you use for the entire verse sections of the song. And we already went over F sharp minor, so you can just refer back to that if you need to. And then right after the verse, you're just going to head into the pre-chorus. So for the pre-chorus, you're going to start off with D, which we learned earlier. And then you're going to play C sharp 7, which is where you're going to bar your first finger all across the first fret of the ukulele, and then have your second finger on the second fret of the A string. So it should sound like this. Or if you don't want to do a bar chord, you can basically do a D chord and then move it back one fret and then add your pinky where your second finger would have been. So it would sound like this. But it's still kind of cramped. Personally, if you have like small fingers or smaller fingers than me, then I think that would be best if you don't want to bar the chord. But I personally just like to bar the chords. So that's C sharp 7. And then after that, you're going to play F sharp minor, which we went over. And then you're going to play A7, which is open on the G string, first finger on the first fret of the C string, and then open on the E and A string, so it should sound like this. And then right after that, you're going to play D again, and then C sharp 7, and then you're going to play B minor, which we covered in the intro, and then after that, you're going to leave the chord alone, and then you're going to transition into the chorus. So the chorus is kind of similar to the pre-chorus, but there's a different chord progression. So you're going to first start off with D, and then you're going to play A, which is second finger on the second fret of the G string, first finger on the first fret of the C string, and then open on E and A, so it should sound like this. And then right after that, you're going to play E, which is basically a D chord, but moved up 2 frets. I personally play it like this. So I first start off by barring my first finger all across the second fret of the ukulele, and then I have my second, third, and fourth finger on the G, C, and E string, 4th fret, and then I have, because I already barred my first finger all across that second fret, the second fret of the A string should be covered, so it should sound like this. Or if you don't want to bar it, you can just take your first finger and put it on the second fret of the A string. And then after E, you're going to play F sharp minor. And then after F sharp minor, you're going to play D again. Then A. and then E. And then you're going to play C#7, which we covered in the pre-chorus. And then after that, that's pretty much all you need to know for the chorus. And then you're going to play a verse again, and then right after that, you're going to get into the bridge, which is basically F sharp minor again. And so after you play the bridge, all you need to do is play the chorus, and then you're basically done with WANNABE in terms of chords. So now that we're done with the chords, let's move on to the strumming pattern. For the strumming pattern, we're going to first start off by learning the intro. So you're going to first start off with plucking all strings like this, so that you're taking every finger except for your pinky on each string of the ukulele and just pulling back and letting go. And then you're going to pluck E, and then you're going to pluck C. You're going to follow the rhythm of the melody that's in the original song when the song starts off. So it's like da 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 da, like that, but with your ukulele. So you're going to start off by plucking all strings like so, and then you're going to pluck E individually and then pluck C. So the rhythm itself should sound like this. And you're going to do that 3 times, once for each chord, so it should sound like this. And then for B minor, you're going to pluck C, E, A, and then you're going to move back into the same pattern that we did earlier. And then right afterwards, as we're going to transition into the verse, you're going to strum down twice, and then mute all strings, and then we are going to move into the verse. So the verse is fairly simple. It's basically a lot of chucking and strumming down. So you're gonna take your right hand and you're gonna strum down, but instead of doing this, where you're gonna let the chord flow and stuff out in the air and like sound all smooth, you're gonna mute your strings right after you strum. So for me, I basically just strum down, but then I take the palm of my hand right here, and then I put that right against the strings immediately after I strum down. For this specific part, you're going to strum down twice, so down, down, and then you're going to do down, up. So it should be down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So without the chords, it should sound like this. And for the down up part, you're not going to mute your strings when you strum down, but you're going to mute them after you strum up. So that's basically the first part of the verse. So with the chords, it should sound like this. And then you're going to stop after a few times of doing that because we're going to move into ITZY's part, which is a different strumming pattern. So with her part, instead of strumming down, down in that really syncopated manner, you're going to strum on a standard beat. If you've watched a few of my tutorials before, a lot of my covers use the strumming pattern where I pluck all strings, strum up, slap. It's basically that, but instead of plucking all strings, you're going to strum down and then up and then slap. So you're going to strum on that standard beat, and then for that second time you do it, you're going to strum down a little bit longer and then strum up and then slap and then continue to do that over and over again until you get to the pre-chorus. So for her part, without any chords, it should sound like this. So to give you a better idea of what's going to sound like for the first verse altogether with the chords and the melody, I'm going to play it for you. So it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 잔소리 stop it. 알아서 갈게. 내가 뭐가 됐든 내가 알아서 할 테니까 좀 do what I wanna. 평범하게 살든 말든 내버려둘래. 어차피 내가 살아. 내 인생 내 거니까. And now we're gonna move into the pre-chorus. So for the first part of the pre-chorus strumming pattern, we covered it in the first part of the first verse strumming pattern because it's basically the same strumming pattern as Ryujin's part. So Yuna and Ryujin, for those parts specifically, have the same strumming pattern. The only difference is that for the second part of the pre-chorus, for Chaeryeong's part, you're going to strum down on each beat. So you're gonna follow the same thing where you strum down and muted all strings, but instead of strumming down in like that syncopated or offbeat rhythm, you're gonna strum down on like a 1, 2, 3, 4 count. So it should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. With the chords, without any melody, it should sound like this all together. And then for B minor, you're actually going to strum down like that and then leave the chord alone. So make sure that's like silent there because I think for that part there's no chord in the original song, and that's pretty much all you need to know for the pre-chorus strumming pattern because it only appears once in the song. And right after that you're going to head into the chorus. So the chorus is pretty easy. It's going to be what we did earlier in the second part of the first verse for ITZY's part, where we strum down, up, and then then slapped. And we basically do that strumming pattern for the entire chorus. This strumming pattern is basically used throughout the entire chorus, so even the part where they're like, I don't wanna be somebody, just wanna be me, you're going to use this exact strumming pattern. So with the chords and the melody, it should sound like this all together for the chorus. And then right after that, you're going to move into the second verse, which has a different strumming pattern from the first verse. This is somewhat similar to what we did in the chorus, but it's at a much slower speed. You're going to start off by strumming down, strumming up, slap, and then strumming down again. And then you're going to mute your strings instead of slapping, but you can slap if you want to. And you're going to do that for the whole part until we get to the yeah part. To further explain it, with the chords, it should sound like this. And then right after that, you're gonna get to the yeah part. You're gonna strum down once and then mute the strings immediately, and then you're gonna keep it silent until the last two yes. So you're gonna strum down on the first of the last yes, and then right after you sing for that last yeah, you're gonna strum right after that one. So it should sound like this. Yeah. So right after you do that yeah part, you're gonna return back to the strumming pattern that we did earlier, and you're gonna do that until we get to Yeji's part. Right before you start Yeji's part, you're gonna strum down and then mute the strings immediately. You're gonna resume strumming right on the la la la's. So for each la la la, you should be strumming down, la la la, and then instead of muting your strings like I just did, you're going to strum down, up, and then slap. Basically what we did earlier, but you're gonna play it at the same speed of how you would play it in the chorus. With the chords and the melody, it should sound like this. 사람들이 말만 하기를 좋아해, la la la, 가만히 and you basically continue doing that until you get to the chorus, where you'll do the same strumming pattern that we covered earlier. And then right after you get to the chorus, you're going to get to the dance break or the bridge. You're basically going to do the strumming pattern that we did in the second verse at the very beginning. So I'm not going to do any of like the heys or the yes, but this is just what the bridge should sound like with the chords and a little bit of the melody that Ryujin sings in the beginning. No matter if you love me or hate me. And that's pretty much what it should sound like for the most part. I actually forgot to do the second part where Yeji's like, if you're feeling me, put your hands up. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. I forgot the lyrics. Sorry. But personally, it's up to you on what you want to do for that part. It's a little bit faster, so you could do a different strumming pattern. Just choose whatever strumming pattern that we like covered today and do whatever you want. After the bridge, you're going to head back into the chorus, which uses the same strumming pattern that we used earlier. And in terms of how you want to end the song, you can end it any way. But for the cover, I strummed down like so, and then I strummed down twice really quickly, and then I muted my strings, and that's how I ended the cover. And overall, that's pretty much it for WANNABE in terms of strumming patterns and chords. Hopefully that wasn't too bad of an explanation. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try my best to answer them in the comments. If you guys do want more tutorials, I will be having more polls on my community page. That's actually where I posted the idea about doing this tutorial in the first place, because this song actually won on one of the more recent polls I did. So I will put more polls up occasionally to ask you guys about what tutorials you guys want. And if you have a suggestion, or I post a suggestion that you really want me to cover in terms of like teaching, just like vote for it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope y'all are staying safe, staying at home, staying healthy. I love you guys a whole ton. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.